Ladies and gentlemen, seekers of truth and knowledge, welcome to a one-of-a-kind experience that will take you on a captivating journey beyond our world. Today, we have a special treat for you as we sit down with the renowned Andromedan contactee, Alex Collier. Prepare yourself for a rapid-fire question and answer session that delves into the depths of cosmic wisdom and unveils the mysteries of the universe. As always, please remember to like this video and share it with your friends and family. That way, it gets seen by more truth seekers. So, without further ado, here are today's rapid-fire questions and answers.
You mentioned that USA is moving from Admiralty and Common Law. Could you please explain the difference between the two and what they are? And why would the president need to be out of the country to initiate Nasara? Thank you for expanding on these two subjects.
Okay. I don't exactly know why the president would have to be out of the country to initiate Nasara. That's what I've heard. It's difficult to find any official protocols for something like that because, to my knowledge, they've never happened before. But I consistently keep hearing that. So he takes a ride on Air Force One. Goes up to one of our space bases, spaceports in Greenland. And, says hi, takes a ride on a TR-4 or one of our space carriers, flies around the moon, comes back, and the SARS happened. I don't know. And what was the first part about the United States, the U.S.?
You mentioned the USA is moving from Admiralty to Common Law. Could you explain the difference between the two and what they are?
We've already done that question.
Yeah, you did that earlier, yeah.
Is Nasara part of that same question?
Yeah, between the two, common law.
Okay.
And
Nasara was to implement, part of the Nasara is to implement the original organic Constitution of the United States, which was based in common law. If you're not familiar with the bankruptcy of the United States in 1871, that bankruptcy essentially pushed aside or dissolved the organic Constitution, and what replaced the organic government was a corporation. And the head of that corporation, the headquarters of that new corporation in 1871, was the District of Columbia, known as Washington, D.C. That information is all available on the internet and libraries. There is a lot of information about that. They don't teach it in schools, but nonetheless, the information hasn't been fully suppressed. It is in fact available. The idea is to undo that, and that's what's happening as we get closer to the complete dissolution of the Federal Reserve. And the United States Treasury moves back to an asset-backed currency. That will happen simultaneously with the bankruptcy of the corporate United States and the reinstalling of the organic Constitution and common law. That also means Admiralty law will be completely dissolved. Admiralty law was used by the Bank of England around the world to control colonies in other countries. And as that was moved into the background, the global banking cartel, aka the central bank system, run by the Rothschilds, the Pasteurs, that moved into the forefront. And that was a much easier sell. We'll print all this money, we'll charge interest on it, we won't print the interest money, so it never actually exists. So what we have is everyone in perpetual debt, literally. So, that plan seemed real simple and seemed to work very, very well for them until everybody started to figure it out.
What's the Andromedan secret to a long, loving marriage? I don't know how they could do 200 years, let alone 1,000 or 4,000 years. That's from Shanta.
Shanta, Your Grace, I have no idea. I have no idea. I just don't know. I don't have an answer for that question. I haven't witnessed that any real genuine length of time to know. And I was never comfortable asking them about their personal relationships, about sex. I wasn't comfortable asking any of those questions. Because I always felt like I was the caboose. I was there to learn from them, to witness them, and for them to share knowledge with me to pass on. It was never where I felt comfortable. I could sit down and say, well, how do you have sex? It was just never like that. And maybe I'm not the right guy for that, those kind of questions. I did feel that anything like that would have been way too forward. Besides, at some point, we're going to have, again, a relationship with off-world races, with star nations. The Earth used to, and I've covered those in the past webinars, the Sumerians, the Babylonians, the Chaldeans. They openly talked about having relationships with other star people, star nations. The Titans of old, according to the Chaldeans, or I'm sorry, the Babylonians, were from Venus. They openly talked about it in their literature. Most of it's in Aramaic. But, our history people tell us it's all mythology. You know how hard it was to chisel on a clay tablet, to make a clay tablet, to chisel on stone tablets? Fucking fantasy bullshit? Come on. They just didn't want us to know. Because they know how smart we are, how quickly we adapt, and how inquisitive we are, because we are explorers by our very nature. I mean, the DNA of 22 star nations is in us. We're fucking explorers. They all came here and then they went home. We're all explorers. And they know that. Because most of us are inquisitive as hell. So, I don't have that answer. Somehow they make it work. Maybe there's always love. Maybe the relationships, the foundation of those relationships begins with mutual respect. So therefore, whatever happens, people change. They go and they want different things. The mutual respect is always there. So therefore, it's not drama, end of the world, cut his throat, take everything he owns. I want all the space rocks. It's none of that shit. I'm sure it isn't. So, but as far as the intimacy of the relationship, I don't know. I wasn't with them long enough to know, to see all that. Now, some of you may kick back, well, you spent 91 days. Yeah, but I slept a lot of that time with them because my body was on a different biological clock. Okay? It's unfortunate, but it's just the reality of it.
How do the Andromedans perceive colored gemstones? Do they exist in 5D, just like here on Earth? Best wishes for a happy holiday season. That's from Setsuko Odaka.
Thank you, Setsuko. That's a really good question. You know, they have a physicality. They have actual physical planets. Unfortunately, I've not been to one. I've only been on Mornay's craft and the Starship for that 91 days. And my access was just to one level. I didn't see all the different levels on the ship. And I mean, for the amount of time that I was there, I couldn't even cover the one level. I mean, you know, they have the parks, and then they live there. They have their living quarters around them, going up in a circle, and then you have the holographic ceiling, which creates weather, sunshine, nightfall, etc. Winds. I mean, you literally cannot tell the difference between. If you didn't know you were on a starship, you would think you were literally sitting on a planet. It's extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary. I would have to assume that yes, they do have minerals. Now, do they use them the way we do? I don't know. I don't know. I don't have that answer. I know that there's channeled information about how to use crystals and minerals in certain patterns to heal a body or to balance chakras and things of that nature. Assuming that information is correct and is coming from a genuine source, then I would think, yes, they probably use gemstones in specific ways. But those stones would not maybe be akin to our physicality, because after all, we're third density, they might be fourth or fifth. They may carry a completely different frequency that our body would never recognize, wouldn't know what to do with it. So the answer is yes, maybe, and I don't know. I think that covers it. All right.
All three of the above.
Exactly.
Hi, Alex. I wondered what became of all the souls that were genocided the last time. Were they forced into the clone army that they replaced humanity with, or were they stuck in a soul trap? Merry Christmas, love, Sonia Finch.
Thank you, Sonia. Clones don't have souls. Clones don't have souls. And even though they're grown, the brain is not at all like ours. It's a microprocessor, an organic microprocessor. I don't know the answer to that question. What happened to those folks? I don't know if some of them have come back in. It's possible that some of them chose to come back in. Maybe some of them didn't. I'm not aware that they were all trapped. I know that in the 90s and the 2000s that some gray ships tried to leave with captured souls. And the benevolents were not having any of it. So that didn't happen. Those souls were rescued, literally. In fact, there are operations ongoing where trafficking of humanity off-world, those souls, as we speak, those physical souls, are being rescued as we speak. Many have been rescued as well. which is why I have said from the get-go that we are a remarkable race, that we are genetic royalty. Now, when I say that with this knowledge that everything humanity has experienced in the past, in the present, and in the future, okay, because things happened in the future and we're coming back to correct them. Everything that humanity has experienced, both spiritually, genetically, mentally, physically, everything, we genetically have within us. And when we regain that knowledge, when we become aware of not only the knowledge, but the experiences, and we are able to process that to gain and garner wisdom from it, we will have so much to teach other star nations. It doesn't mean that they're going to ever experience the things we did. But knowledge is part of evolution, part of evolvement. Our experience becomes part of not only the galactic experiential bank, but the Akashic records, the dimensional history of what we've experienced and what we've become after it, what we've made of ourselves after experiencing and acknowledging it and processing through it, will resonate throughout the dimensions. It was Visayas who taught me that, and that was probably our best conversation ever, was about that, how we were going to change the resonance of everything here. Because if you were to take humanity as one collective soul group, dimensions, except 12, we cover them all right here. So, and my understanding is we're the only ones that are like that. So we'll see. We'll see. It should be extraordinary, if nothing else.
Hi, Alex. Was wondering after watching some of your old lectures whether it is still accurate to describe the Earth situation as a war of enforcement. I know galactic tyranny showed up in the future, so is the ET motivation now primarily principled with the enforcement or tyranny? Many thanks.
That's a great question. I don't believe the language is the same now. I don't want to call it a rescue mission either, because if we were fully aware of our strengths, we would have rescued ourselves. But we don't really understand our power and what it is and where it actually comes from because of the tyranny. If there's any enforcement, it's being used against the dark side. They're being suppressed so that we can break free. And in some cases, they're being eliminated, literally eliminated, physically. Who asked that question? What was his name or their name?
Jaxon. Jackson, or maybe he's Jason. I don't know.
Okay. If I had to describe what's happening now, I would say that it's a migration to fifth density. That's what's happening here now. It's a planetary migration to fifth density. It's not an enforcement, because we're not being enforced. We're being assisted. We are being given the tools and the awareness to dream this, to create this for ourselves. The universe is obviously assisting. So, what's that old expression? Life is a river that carries you to your future, whether you like it or not. And at some point, down the river, down the years, you find yourself standing on the shore and you look up and you're alive, you're happy, you're well, and the sun is still shining. That's the trajectory humanity is on. Okay, we may feel like it's a rapid and we don't know where it's taking us, but it's all good. It's all good. It is. It's all good. God's got this. We just have to learn to trust. We forgot how to trust. We've all had this shit kicked out of us down here. Fuck. We really have. This has been one tough mission. It's been a tough op. It really has been. And I'm speaking for myself. This has been a tough op. This has been.
When we look at and view information on the internet, like alternative info, like Alex Collier, whoever he is, and Project Camelot, my wife thinks that looking and reading at all the alternative information damages your soul. I know this is not the truth, but can you explain to our audience how people that are not in tune with the truth skew their perception of reality? Thank you.
No, I don't. And any explanation I would be giving you would just be a guess, or my own opinion. The old expression, you can lead a horse to water. That's all you can do. Some people get it, some don't. Some will get it, some will never get it. At least in this particular physical experience. Do I have the reasons or the know-how as to why? I don't. I simply don't. There are many people that I absolutely love and adore that I would have wanted to know the rest of my life and all of my life. But when this part of my life became known, I was thrown away. I was completely discarded. And my love and my compassion and friendship for them didn't mean anything. So I don't have an answer for you, Mike. I just simply don't. I've had many people come through my life that I've had to let go of. And then there's other people who I let go of who are now coming back into my life. It's weird. They're putting their toe back in the water. Hey, how are you? I thought about you, or I saw a video of you. It's interesting stuff. 15 years ago, they were like, dude, you're the devil. It's just, You know, yea, though I walk through the valley of death. What are those numbers? You know, I don't have an answer. All I can do and all I do is I give thanks, and I'm grateful for every single day. I give thanks and grateful to the people that are in my life now. I give thanks to those who help and support me in any way. And all those people that I've lost or I've had to say goodbye to, I love them from a distance and I bless them every single day. And that's all I can do. That's all I can do. There's no way to control what someone else thinks, you know. And being a guy trying to figure out a woman, you want to know that. You should already know that. And I know you do, Mike. I'm just teasing you. So, you know, what men think, women feel. And sometimes it's the other way around. You know, sometimes we feel what they think. And it just, you know, there's just one thruster that won't fire together.
How much of the movie Matrix is relevant to you, to how you view the universe? Using the language based from the movie, do you believe all of us are considered connected to source, or just some of us?
Oh, I think all of us on one level are all connected to source. That connection is stronger and wider with others than with those who aren't. I think the clones aren't connected to source at all, but they're connected to nature in a strange way, but because they inhabit the same space. I think right now, Matrix is probably the best example we have of what is going on. And I think it was way ahead of its time. And it's probably more relevant now than it was then when it first came out, even though it created quite the stir. But there are a lot more people awake now. And I think going through it one more time or several times would help bring perspective to a lot of people.
You say that much of the work that is being done in the higher dimension, as above, so below, is it possible that what we see as the drama before us is actually just fallout from what is unfolding in higher dimensions? Or are we working from down here in conjunction with our extra-dimensional family and our multidimensional selves? Bear with me, I'm grappling to form a picture in my mind of this. Thank you so much for being here and holding this space.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. It's being worked from both ends. It is, it's like a figure eight. You have a higher energy coming down, connecting to a lower frequency, ascending. And they're connecting to each other. And as they connect to each other and the frequency gets faster and faster and faster, what happens is that the energy draws itself up. It will draw the frequencies up, changing everything. That's how I see it. So you have the frequencies coming down, things being played out and being clarified and fixed. And then you have the physicality playing itself out, also the frequency ascending, because that's what we're doing. The fact that everything that's hidden is coming to light, the awakening of humanity to what's been going on in front of us all this time that we simply couldn't see, that's a raising of a frequency. That's an opening of a perspective. It's broadening of a perspective. That's the enlightenment of humanity. Because now we're seeing the field, the whole landscape of the reality that we've been creating and been participating in. Now we're seeing all of it. That's a rise in consciousness. They can't change that. We should never let them change it. They've been trying to, with fear, war, pestilence, biological agents, creating all this fear to shut us down. And it's not working. It's not working. If anything, they've only pissed us off even more. So that's why I feel pretty good about what the outcome's going to be. I'm trying to stay grounded about it, and I'm not trying to project just what I want. I mean, I know what I want, but I also have to stay in the world. I have to be realistic about all the things that are happening, all the movement of energy and components that are moving. I can't just focus on just what I want to hear. You have to pay attention to all of it, because it's all part of the landscape.
There you have it, fellow truth seekers. An enlightening and exhilarating rapid-fire question and answer session with the remarkable Alex Collier, sharing his profound encounters with the benevolent Andromedan extraterrestrial beings. As we continue on our cosmic journey, let us embrace the wisdom of the Andromedans and carry their message of love, unity, and compassion with us. Together, we can create a world where humanity stands united, ready to embrace the wonders that await us in the vast expanse of the universe. If you found this rapid-fire question and answer session fascinating, don't forget to hit that like button and share this video with your friends and family. Subscribe to our channel and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on more captivating content like this. Thank you for joining us on this incredible adventure. Until next time, may the stars guide you on your path of enlightenment and exploration, and remember to always seek knowledge and stay curious. If you would like to see Andromedan contactee Alex Collier live via video stream, we host an online seminar 3 times a month on a Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information and dates of upcoming online seminars, please visit alexcollier.org. Please click on one of the above videos to seek more of Alex Collier's knowledge.